This is Point Black coming on in. Coming with another boo bip with them lion ass lips. Coming with them facts to crack the back. Coming with the flow to the barrio. Coming with the heat from the motherfucking street. You know what I'm saying? Coming with them facts. You know what I mean? This is how we do. Now, last time we was talking, you know what I'm saying, and I brought up about what's going on out there. There's seen a lot of changes going on right now, but we have to make sure we still understand where we stand in this game. A lot of people want to take away your words and act as if like you have no say in the game. But at the same time, we still have to see it. No matter how ordinary it may play, it doesn't mean that it has an ordinary goal to begin with based on its creation or its will to say this and that. So we understand that you have a right to say things. You have to. You know what I mean? I see the government should have, to me, the government should have to, prove a lot of things when they bring forth certain things to happen around the human population based on a lot of ideology that they may have or how they want things to go. To me, it still lands on the same predicament as I said before. They're trying to really cover their tracks and hide many things that they have done based on the fact that it has come up. You know what I mean? And you have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times they should have to prove their case to the people rather than even decide to make a global shutdown, based on, a common so-called virus. You know what I mean? People have a way of fighting off many things. And we're still looking for the naturality in the prognosis, you know what I'm saying? Or the diagnosis. So we're still looking for the naturality within this process. Still haven't seen it yet. Still looking for it. And they said, you know, that the push for it has come to now, they say a pandemic, restricted movements, and so on. You know what I mean? But when we look at this, we need to get ourselves together because people cannot, just 100% just stay locked down all the time. We have to get back to opening up the place as usual and seeing how this thing go. It wouldn't hurt to do an experiment in that direction as to opening up things and providing what the people need to get themselves back together. You know what I'm saying? Because the pandemic is based on what they said. You know what I mean? And, restrict and pushing to get through this based on whatever they came up with, to me, seems to really be moving very slow. You know what I mean? It's solely, to me, garbage if you're not going to help the people to get on their feet. You cannot have the people, without money, resources, and so on, while everybody else making hundreds of thousands of dollars and the regular people are suffering. You know what I'm saying? Now they're looking from inside, you know what I'm saying? Or it has weakened the people. You know what I'm saying? It has weakened the people while you play war games. Like I said before, the infiltration on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? The infiltration on all fronts. And you know what I mean. Like when it comes to the taxes. You see where Soros now, Mr. Soros, is donating millions of dollars, what I'm saying, to some kind of society funds that, that he is raising money in these newly, I guess, created society funds in an effort to pass the call for the raising of the taxes by the Biden administration. You know what I'm saying? Now, people got to remember, every time you raise taxes, it means that you take away more of the money. We understand that. We understand that. But it also can be used in order to keep people in a certain standard of living and even make it worse. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, we need to really get back to understanding the games that are being played. You know what I'm saying? She's out of luck. So we got to catch up on this whole thing. You know what I mean? And there was a situation that came up where I was looking at a story, you know what I'm saying? The name of the story was She's Out of Luck, which is a true story, really. You know what I mean? There's no fake to the story, but in the She Out of Luck, she managed to avoid the catching, you know what I mean, since 2020, you know what I'm saying, when the bug came down. But a week, I think like 4 weeks, she has, 4 weeks after getting the treat, she came down with the bug. So I don't understand what's going on, but I see on Channel 12 News where they're now saying that you can get, you know what I'm saying, the situation with the bug, you know what I mean, even though you have been fully, you know what I'm saying, at least they have the guts to say that on the news. That's what it's really, saying the truth. You know what I mean? So we have to watch that. You know what I mean? We have to watch what we're doing out there to make sure we understand where we are going. You know what I mean? And everything that we need to do to protect ourselves in a situation such as this. To just sit there and look at people like they're halfway crazy just because they're making a statement based on something that they may see within a society is no reason for that person to be shut down. That's unfair, and it's crooked, no matter what the case may be. Because just like, China said, or whoever, or not, yeah, well, China had said it, that America has no room to talk about them when America has their own problems. No sense picking on them when we have problems bigger than theirs. So America can't talk about other people until America cleans shop. Now, I see a lot of people are, picking on the Asian people, and they need to cut it out. That's not solving anything. That is doing exactly what others may be doing. So why would you do that? So people who's doing that garbage need to cut it out. You know what I mean? Need to cut it out. It really is not a good look for people to go around doing those type of things, but then at the same time, you over here fighting for equality and racial justice. So if you're gonna pick on other people, but you're protesting for the same things, based on what you're about to do to another person, doesn't really make much sense. You know what I mean? If you're fighting for racial justice, why would you pick on anyone else? It's about racial justice. and equal rights. It's not always going to be, sometimes people will understand the overstanding of peace. But one thing we could have is justice, equal rights, and justice, and that will bring peace. But as long as the people play these political games, you know what I'm saying, it's not really going to get us anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start to wake up to, what's going on out here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm looking at a story also of the people in Harlem. Tonight we're doing news spots. You know what I mean? See the people in Harlem. I hear a lot of organizations are working because a lot of the different fake K2 and stuff is coming back, and certain people are collapsing over there. But, you know what I'm saying, the black people in Harlem need to organize, you know what I'm saying, and then centralize, you know what I'm saying, and begin to support one another at a full understanding. You know what I'm saying? Don't let other people predict your outcome. You know what I mean? Do not be fooled. You know what I mean? And stand firm. Clean up the streets of Harlem. Black people, we've got work to do. This is not the time to be playing around on the job. Clear the capital. Now, skipping subject, and Harlem needs to understand what I'm saying and stand firm for all borders of our people. But I was looking at a story where during the insurrection, Pence had called for clearing the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? Pence said elsewhere in the building of the Senate majority, you know what I mean, they were panicking over there, you know what I'm saying? Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi were making similarity. They were making similarities or the similar action to appeal to the military leaders, asking the Army to deploy the National Guard. You know what I'm saying? We need help, Schumer said. The DNY said in desperation more than an hour after the Senate chamber was breached, which doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? But at the Pentagon, officials were discussing. I guess the officials were discussing, what kind of action should they take. But I don't understand why they wait till an hour after it was breached and not before. Because once it started, why did Schumer then wait an hour after to call the military? You know what I'm saying? When I'm looking at it, it's saying similarly, they drew an appeal to the military leaders, asking them to deploy the National Guard and saying we need help. Schumer and I said the desperation was for the call was more than an hour after the Senate was breached. Why would you wait so long when you know it was being breached from way earlier because of the insurrection and the different shit that was happening outside? The warning should have been went out not by Schumer or Pelosi. So that is suspicious in itself. You know what I mean? Why would you wait 1 hour after the insurrection was going on? Because if the people were rushing the White House based on what they were saying, then the officers that were engaging the people outside would have been done send warning clear to the building. So the question is, why didn't the people inside know until 1 hour after it was breached? Doesn't make sense to me. So something is wrong. Media report that the mayhem was confined to Washington, No, the media reports that the mayhem was not confined to Washington, and that other state capitals were facing the similar violence in what had the making of of a national insurrection. You know what I'm saying? Which didn't make much sense to me either. We must establish order. You know what I'm saying? We must establish order. Said, I guess his name is General Mark Molly or whatever, Milley or whatever, chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. You know what I'm saying? In the call with the Pentagon leaders. You know what I'm saying? But orders would not be order would not be restored for hours. You know what I'm saying? For hours. But it still does not make any sense as to how Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi is calling for this to come when it was happening outside. It should have been already aggressed in evasive maneuver. So what kind of maneuvers did the White House have in this situation really didn't cut much sense to me too. And you know what I mean, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi needs to be really investigated on that situation because something don't make sense there. You know what I mean? You know, that doesn't make sense. You know, that's why it would, you know, the nation to be so, you know, upset over an election. When we look at why would a nation be so upset over an election result? It's a question. At this particular time, 2021, does it make sense? You know what I mean? Here's the question. If there was no trickery involved and you had trueness in this whole process of election that just went by, of, to me, the way, you know what I'm saying, was much of this thing going on that it was a riot. You know what I mean? Much riot on the White House and other state capitals all over the United States. Something didn't sound right there to me on that one. At some time, to make it look like, at some time or another, to make it look like a out of control situation, and one step from martial law, which probably is what they really wanted to do. You know what I mean? Seemed like it was a plan. To me, the way it went, even what they said in the White House went down, it seemed like it was a plan. It was planned out. Because there is no way you're going to wait 1 hour after the place is breached and people are already in the building coming in to make a call or any kind of thing by Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. It didn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? And it seemed like that's what they wanted to do. And it was planned out to fall that way. So what they was trying to hide, you know what I'm saying, would not be revealed. And that's a point fact, a point black on that. You know what I'm saying? Same as to what, you know, is going on when you look, going on when you look at it. You know, when you look at the road that we was about to go down, doesn't look bright. You know what I'm saying? Look at the road we going down. And we need to really look at that. Even on the rush for mandates and mandates and mandatories. You know, so we see, you know, a pattern here, you know, on a plot, you know what really needs to happen is the public needs to start to face a proving and start to ask for proof as to the truth as to an insurrection. You know what I'm saying? And the time and timing is critical. You know what I mean? Do not make no mistake. Make no mistake. We need to investigate really closer to that insurrection because it's not making much sense in it at all for them to even use that. You know what I mean? As to how you would wait 1 hour after and you would let the place be breached and then say it was a breach and making it look to me it looked like it was planned out. And that's just facts. I did my investigation and I come to that conclusion that the insurrection was basically staged in order for whatever reason they choose. You know what I'm saying? Now we're looking at a new thing coming up. We have this thing where we have White Lives Matter rally coming up. Okay. White people against white hate, according to the chief. I think his name is Julian Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Now I hear Black Lives Matter plan to do a counter report on it or counter protest at the same time in the same location, which doesn't make much sense to me. You know what I mean? They're going to do theirs a couple of hours earlier, you know what I'm saying? And to me, really, they're going to be there an hour before White Lives Matter, and then I guess White Lives Matter going to show up they're going to be there probably about 11, and they're going to show up about White Lives going to show up about 1 o'clock. You know, to me, it's going to potentially, if people don't keep their calm and act like they have some senses, could potentially escalate to tension. You know what I mean? It sounds like, they're going to try some old bullshit if everybody ain't coming correct. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like another bullshit to try to bring in martial law. You know? I hope what people are saying is what they mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching that because I'm watching both sides. White lives matter and Black Lives Matter. Why is Black Lives in the same area is very confusing to me. Black Lives, to me, why would you be in the same area? That don't even make sense. You know what I mean? We did to counter this. It's very confusing to me. You know what I'm saying? Have Black Lives ever heard of elbow room? You know what I'm saying? I think his name is Gary Johnson or whatever his name. What is it, Terry Johnson or whatever? Have you ever heard elbow room? Well, you gotta be right up in their face. You know what I mean? And you coming there earlier. I guess Terry Johnson is leading the Black Lives protest. But, I'm watching both. I'm watching both. So I'm saying to both, both groups. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Y'all are there to peacefully protest your claim, and that's what you should do. Should be no tension. You know what I'm saying? We must disagree. You know what I'm saying? We must learn to disagree without the bull. You know what I mean? Do not let, them move you like that. Where you go there to start some garbage and it turns into next time a whole military action and all kinds of garbage. You know what I'm saying? So, because, and it turned into some kind of violent bullshit. You must learn to disagree. You know what I mean? Don't let them move you to violence because, because, I'm watching this. Don't let them push you to violence. You know what I mean? And don't let them don't put yourself, under more control than we need to be due to the fact that people are setting this off. You know what I mean? Black Lives seems just as shady as any other. You know what I mean? And I'm watching more so on you. And that's a fact. So don't come with that crap. You know what I mean? So people got to start waking up to what's going on out here because we got the White Lives Rally Matter in many cities that have been coming on. You know what I mean? And now we see that Black Lives Matter is there. So I'm watching Black Lives Matter because you just as shady as any other group. And that's a fact, Jack. Point black. You know what I mean? And like I said, you do not speak Black Lives Matter for me. But we cannot go down that bullshit road. And all who are there to protest need to wake up here. You know what I mean? Over there in I think it's Huntington Beach, has a history of attracting those who promote white supremacy. White supremacy to what? You know what I mean? You should be more interested in white white supremacy should be more interested in white liberty, which you already have. And you already have white supremacy because most of y'all, that's who's running the country already. Unless he's not a part of your group. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a secular group that's being left out, but violence is only going to be got violence. And one day you're going to be betrayed. Probably by your very own. So pay attention to that. White supremacy. The city also has a history of rallies turning into violence. Like on March 2017, a rally in support of President Trump turned into a brawl between supporters of President and counter supporters. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, every time the demon Democrats counter a Trump rally, a riot broke the fuck out. A riot broke the fuck out. Question: what was Democrat supporters doing at a Trump rally if you're not a Republican? So you was there to bully and cause a lot of things that went on. When it looked like to me, why would you be at a Trump rally? Or the other way around. So what was it every time they showed up at a Trump rally, these demon Democrat supporters and Antifa or whoever they sent there, claiming to be backing up Biden and them, a riot broke the fuck out. You see? It didn't make sense to me. Because if you're a Trump supporter, what was you doing there is the question. You know what I'm saying? But the blame is on Trump. Every time a bunch of people show up at a Trump rally and a riot broke the fuck out, Trump got the blame. Point facts. They tried every trick in the book. You know what I mean? They were doing the same thing they did in 1865, harassing the voters and doing all kinds of garbage just so they won't vote and yada, yada, yada. They were doing the same thing in this one because they had to save their skin because they were about to be, the whole shit was about to be blown out the ship. And the whole world was about to know exactly what was going on for the first time of the group you love so much. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But the blame landed on Trump. Democrat supporters harassing Trump supporters. You know what I mean? Now, doesn't this sound very familiar? So who was out there harassing supporters of Trump during an election? Is the question. Who was going to Trump rallies? Who was going to Trump rallies and were that desperate? And I wonder why. You see, when you nasty handed garbage and you get caught, you'll do anything to save their skin, won't they? So who was going to Trump rally, you know what I'm saying, during the election time is the question. Who was it? Black Lives Matter? Who? who we know? I mean, who is it? Who was at this rally, you know what I mean, doing this garbage?